There's a saying in Judaism that says, "Separate not thyself from thy community."
Every day on Peachtree Road, tens of thousands drive by the temple. Few know of the pivotal moment in its history that helped shape its city.
A lot of people come to Atlanta, but they don't necessarily know what happened in 1958. Here was a moment of hate speech exploding.
In the late 1950s, the temple hosted the largest Jewish congregation in Atlanta, with a leader, Rabbi Jacob Rothschild, who spoke in his sermons about segregation and civil rights.
He very much saw himself as an ally of Martin Luther King. And he invited prominent black speakers onto his pulpit. It scared them at the temple. Won't you speaking out like this, Rabbi, attract the ire of the violent white supremacists, and won't they turn on us? And they were right.
October 12th, 1958, in the middle of the night, the sound of an explosion.
I remember being awakened by the telephone. The next thing I heard personally was a long silence, and then he says, "Oh no." He hung up and he turned to me and he said, "The temple's been bombed."
The side of the building was blown open. It was a tremendous blast. Had Sunday school been in session, as it would have been a few hours later, probably children would have been killed.
The news spread through Atlanta and America. No one was killed and the temple was insured, but a message was sent.
We would hear slogans of 2, 4, 6, 8, we don't want to integrate. If someone was going to put 50 sticks of dynamite at my congregation, that gives a whole other level.
Times of terror put leaders to the test. The leaders of Atlanta responded.
Mayor Hartsfield showed up almost immediately and is speaking on camera that this is an abomination and we're not having this in this city.
Ralph McGill, the following day, wrote an op-ed on the bombing, and that op-ed actually won a Pulitzer Prize.
Churches and schools opened their doors for services and classes. Donations came nationwide in large checks and crumpled dollars.
It was heartwarming. And to me, it said that Atlanta considered itself a city of churches.
A few days later, for Friday night services, where usually at best, maybe there were, 8 people, it's packed. The rabbi had put that the topic he would be speaking about was, "And none shall make them afraid."
5 suspects were arrested, none were convicted. But the legacy of the bombing lies with not those responsible, but those tested.
To this day, we have something called the Rothschild Social Justice Institute, dealing with racial injustice, to gun sense, to sex trafficking.
It was a powerful lesson that hate speech is not harmless, and hate speech leads to real-world events. We saw that in Charlottesville August a year ago.
These days, Peachtree is peaceful, and along the curve that cradles the temple, the moment that rocked it 60 years ago remains a pivot for a people.
They're driving by the temple. They can look up and see stability and hope that out of something very tragic can come something very good.
For Untold Atlanta, I'm Matt Pearl.